Welcome back to another episode of the Sportsology podcast, man. It's your boy Jordan. I'm here with my guy Zach.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Another episode, man. Hey, man, look, man, I'm excited for this one, man. Let's get straight into it, man. You know, your boy got the bandana on, so you know it's serious business. You know what I mean?
Serious,
Let's get it.
serious.
Hmm.
Let's just get straight into it. I got my TV on. The game hasn't started yet, but when it does, I'm gonna be tuned in. We got the Bengals versus the Dolphins. The
Yeah,
Dolphins so far 3-0.
yeah.
I'm really excited to watch this game and see what happens. But I mean, we're talking about the a tale of two wins. I mean, the Dolphins surprising, Bengals kind of disappointing. What do you think? What are you gonna take away from this game, and what are you looking to hopefully accomplish while watching this game?
Well, I want to see Joe Burrow put up some good production this game. I want Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to have a good game this game. Those are the guys who I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to perform because so far they haven't really performed to the expectation that everybody thought.
Yep.
And Bengals are kind of being a little disappointing right now, 1-2. So I think this is a if the Bengals were to win this game, this will be a really big W. Give the Dolphins their first loss, but you know what I mean. On the contrary, I think for the Dolphins, if they were to win this game, man, I
Right.
think they're gonna send shockwaves around the league, man. Like the Dolphins are serious about this, man. You know what I mean? My boy Tua has been going crazy. He's been doing really well. I think he already has like 1,000 passing yards or something like
Mhm.
that. I've seen something. He has like the first or second most passing yards already. And he's just been playing really well. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill obviously been doing their thing. So, but what I really want to see is just, you know what I mean. I want to see my boy Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I want to see, the type of production that we've
Yeah.
been waiting for.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I think this is a big W. Like I think this is a big matchup for the Bengals. I think this is a really important game for the Bengals.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean, I
yeah,
think like for the Dolphins, like okay, so the last game Tua had got injured and he like slammed the back of his head on the ground. He got up, he couldn't walk, and people thought it was like a concussion or whatever. But I guess the team came out and said it was a back injury. So I'm curious to see how he comes out and plays. Like you said, the Dolphins, man, they've really come out and just really have taken the league by storm throughout these three
yeah,
weeks. Them
yeah.
and the
People
Eagles, who we'll get
last
into. So yeah, I mean, it's always great to have a good Thursday night game that you want to watch. Because there's times where we get these Thursday night games and it's like, do I really want to tune in? But tonight I'm gonna be glued to my screen and tuned in.
Yeah, 100%, man. Those games where you get like, the Jets versus
Yeah.
like just those
Jets
games that
versus
we're not
Panthers,
really.
like nobody
Yeah,
wants to watch a
exactly. It's
game like
like those
that.
games that we're not really interested in seeing. This is a really exciting matchup that I want to see. Definitely going to watch this whole game. It should be a really good game. But sports, there's nothing guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a blowout. But you know what I mean? I want it to be a close game, down to the wire. I want this to be one of those games where whoever gets the ball last wins the game. So, but
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see, man. Hopefully, my boy Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase does well though, because that's what I've been waiting to see so far.
Yeah,
So,
and Tua's he's been one of the most hated quarterbacks.
yeah,
And then people are like, "Oh, Tyreek Hill is just trying to make Tua feel better with certain responses that he's had said." And I mean, hey, if Tua keeps playing like this, those things that Tyreek has said, hey, they're true. I mean, hey, I just really like the direction that they're heading in. I've
yeah,
always liked Tua, and I've always hated the fact that people have like it's not fair to him that Justin Herbert was drafted before him. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't control that, or was drafted after him. I mean, he couldn't control that. So just going out there and doing what Tua does, he'll be all right.
yeah. Because when you have those guys in the league that everybody's hating on and things like that, and then when you finally see them do good, man, it feels good, man. You know what I mean? Because obviously everybody was so willing to just pull the car on Tua. Oh yeah, this
Right.
guy is. You know what I mean? So, but Tua so far he's been obviously playing really well, proving the haters wrong. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not even hating or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not so quick to jump on the Tua train yet. It has only been 3 weeks.
That's
You
what
know what I
I'll
mean?
that's what I'll get into with Jalen Hurts. The same
Yeah.
concept, but keep
Right,
going.
right, right. It has only been 3 weeks, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to see more, but so far, from what I've seen, Tua is playing really well, and if he continues to put up the numbers that he's putting up, he will easily be a top 5 quarterback in the league by the time that the season's over. You know what I mean? At least a top 5 quarterback this season. That's the direction that him and Jalen Hurts are both heading in. So, I'm really excited for both of them.
Yeah, we talked about Dolphins at the top of the AFC. Now
Right.
for the Eagles, top of the NFC. Um, I mean, let's start with the quarterback. Jalen Hurts was, I want to say, NFC Player of the Month. Um, very, very excited, very happy from what I saw from him. You know, and I mean, with the Eagles, like the only like concern there is that we've been putting teams away early, so we haven't scored. I don't think we scored a single point in the fourth quarter, and like all our points have come from the second quarter. And so some people, some Eagles fans, are kind of overreacting. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of concerning, but you know, Jalen Hurts, he's looked great. He's been able to make throws that he couldn't make a year ago, let alone 2 years ago. Um, and I mean, yeah, I think with the Eagles is just that we had everything, like, like we have the great running game, the great O line, great wide receiver corps. But you see Devontae Smith last week. I think he had 160 plus yards, a touchdown. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
Devontae Smith went crazy,
Like,
bro.
if we get like, and I don't expect AJ Brown and Devontae to have a good game, both like where they both have a good game in the same game. I don't really expect that, but if one of them will, you know what I'm saying, one of them will go crazy. If
Right.
not, let it be a balanced attack. So, I mean, I'm just really excited. Defense looks
Yeah.
great. We sacked Carson like 9 times last week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look it up. We sacked him like 8 or 9 times, 3 times in the first quarter. So, yeah, the defense. If the defense can play like that, I'm very very confident. But our defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon, he has his moments sometimes where it's like, hey, he keeps this up, he'll be a head coach, and then he
Right.
also has his moments where like, what are we doing? So if we can get that, he looks good. He's gonna be a head coach, Jonathan Gannon. You know what I'm saying? We'll be in the right spot.
Yeah, I think I like the direction that the Eagles are going in. I like the direction that they're headed. I think if the Eagles continue to play like this, I've been saying this since week one, they will be Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the Eagles versus the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The Eagles are playing really well. Jalen Hurts is looking good. I think he has like 4 or 5 touchdown passes and like 3 rushing touchdowns or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jalen Hurts has been playing stellar. My boy AJ Brown has been doing good. So um, I'm really excited for this Eagles team, man. But it is only 3 weeks. We got to see what these other 14 weeks, you know what I mean, unfold, and we'll see if Jalen Hurts can continue to be consistent. We're gonna see if Tua can continue to be consistent. We're gonna see if all these guys can continue to be consistent, because that's what's the biggest factor is consistency and being able to do this each and every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is very early in the season. The season is still young, so we gotta, you know what I mean, work our way down the weeks and see how that unfolds, and then I'll be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just backtracking a little bit. Going back to like week 3, Packers Bucks. Did you watch that game?
No, but I did see that the Packers won by 2.
Yeah.
It was a pretty gutted out game. From what I heard, I think the so the Bucks scored a touchdown and they didn't convert on the 2 point conversion or
Yeah,
something like
because
that.
so the Bucks got the touchdown and they were at the 2 yard line for the 2 point conversion, and I want to say it was a delay of game, and then they got pushed back to the 7, so then they didn't convert.
Yeah,
But all
yeah,
around it was it's always fun seeing the greats go at it. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
yeah,
Um,
uh, yeah.
but Zach, I want to ask you about the Broncos. Before we get into the Broncos, Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever, hit his best. Dan Orlovsky, however you say his name.
Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He hit his best impression stepping out the end zone. Um, But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the Broncos. They won 10-11, 1 point victory. Without that safety, they probably would have lost. What are your thoughts on the Broncos so far?
I'm not impressed at all. I'm
Yeah.
very disappointed. It does not look good. We have only scored 43 points in the past 3 games.
Hmm.
That's not good at all. You know what I mean? 16 in the first game, 16 in the second game, and then 11 in the third game. And keep in mind the teams that we're playing are not that good.
Not.
The
Yeah.
Seahawks are not that good. The Texans are not that good. The 49ers are okay. They have a good defense, but you know what I mean? They do have Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback. So
Yeah.
they're not, you know what I mean, all that either. So I really we should be 3-0, and we haven't even put up a 20-point performance yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw this one tweet. I think they said something like they should have gave that punter 230
Oh
million
yeah, bro. I brought that up
instead
at
of
school,
yeah. And
man.
I'm thinking like, I mean, yeah, because Russell he ain't
Yeah.
putting no points in it. I don't know what the heck he doing. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Cortland sudden he's playing good and stuff like that, but we need some more points on the board if we want to if we want to, you know what I mean, be put in a good position to beat these top teams in the league, these teams that are really good, like the Buccaneers and just all of these other teams, the Bills, the Dolphins, like all these other good teams, we
Yeah.
need to put some points on the board, man. Obviously, we've been playing good defensively on the defensive side, but we need to put some more points on the board. It's not looking good for us right now, man. Like you said, if we didn't get that safety, we probably would have lost that game.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And that was like the second, I think, 10-11 game in NFL history or something like
Really.
that. So I think, yeah, it's really disappointing right now. Nathaniel Hackett, get it together, rally your troops, and,
Rally your
you know what
troops.
I mean? I guess call better plays or something because y'all not getting into the end zone enough. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think this I've never seen Russ play like this. I'm not sure if he's still adjusting to the offense or what the deal is, but I mean, I think the Broncos will be fine. They just have to be better. Simply, I mean,
yeah,
they're leaving stuff
exactly.
on the table that if you want to make the playoffs and like if you want to make the playoffs, you want to win, you can't leave that stuff on the table. So
Right, right.
yeah, the Indianapolis Colts beat the Chiefs 20-17. The Colts now have a record of 1-1-1. Um, any thoughts on that game?
Um, I have Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team, so I definitely thought that he only got me 17 points, which isn't bad, but I thought he'd get me way more
Yeah,
points because the Colts obviously
Colts
aren't
are
really that
interesting,
good.
man. Jonathan
So
Taylor had 21 carries, only had 71 yards.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I really thought that the Chiefs were gonna easily win that,
mhm,
easy 3-0 start, but obviously, like I said earlier, nothing in sports is guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen in sports. So you know what I mean. Obviously, this is a tough loss for the Chiefs. I think they lost
yeah,
on a game-winning field goal or something like that. I don't remember, but they lost by 3 points, 20-17. Um, Patrick Mahomes had like a touchdown and an interception, so he didn't really play that well. Um, it was just all around just not a good game for the Chiefs. But it's the Chiefs. They'll be all right. You know what I
um,
mean? They'll be all right. But,
so
you know, a
okay,
good game for the Colts. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They get to say that they got their first dub off of, what I'm saying, beating the Chiefs, beating Patrick Mahomes.
yeah.
So yeah.
Before the season started, uh, you and I came to the agreement that there was one quarterback that had no excuse this year. He had everything in front of him. He's got the best receiver in the game. He's got no excuse. That's Derek Carr.
It's Derek Carr.
The Oakland Raiders currently are 0-3, the only 0-3 team in the NFL. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from the Raiders so far?
It's to be honest, it's amusing. I mean, you have look like you have Josh Jacobs, who's a really good running back. You have Darren Waller, who's what, a top three, top five tight end in the league. You have
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, who's the best receiver in the league. You have Hunter Renfro, who's the top three slot receiver in the league, and you guys are 0-3. And then on top of that, you guys blow a 20-0 lead against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all need to get it together. Y'all are the only 0-3 team in the league, and keep in mind, y'all have one of the best teams in the league. How does that happen? You know what I mean? They gave Derek Carr all of this money. They surrounded him with great players, and he's just not getting the job done.
I
Hey, they got work to do. Simple as that.
I
I
mean,
don't really have to say to that. It's ridiculous at this point. But to be honest, it's not surprising as well because again, their quarterback is Derek Carr.
shit, cause like the Titans aren't even that good, bro. They're not. Like that
No,
was their first win. First game, or it was either week 1 or week 2 when they got blown out. Malik Willis came in the game. It was the Monday
yeah,
Night Football game, so it was week 2
they
against
got
the
blown out
Bills.
by Buffalo. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. The Titans are not good.
Derrick Henry hasn't been great.
Exactly.
Like,
And on top of that, yeah. So and keep in mind, the Titans literally lost to the Giants.
yeah,
The Giants.
yeah,
And the Raiders are sitting there. The Raiders should, at the very least, be the Raiders. If I'm being honest, the Raiders should be 3-0. They choked against the Chargers.
yeah,
They
yeah,
choked
yeah,
against
yeah.
they choked against the what's it called? The what's that team called? The
The
Cardinals.
Cardinals,
And
yeah,
then you know what I mean? They choked away that game against the Titans. I think they lost 24-22 or something like that.
yeah.
The Raiders need to get it together, man. They need to turn it on. Derek Carr, come on. You got everything you need, bro. Like you just need. It's just all about you. Just need to perform. Simple as that. Perform.
Um, let's talk about let's move over to the NBA now. We haven't. I don't think we talked about the NBA in a minute, or maybe we talked about it last episode. NBA Media Day just happened. A lot of new faces, seeing them suited up for the first time. What are your expectations for this season?
Um. Well, my expectations are that that obviously the Cavs just acquired Donovan Mitchell, so I'm expecting the Cavs to have a really good year, a
Mm-hmm.
50-win season,
Yeah.
finally make the playoffs without LeBron, finally be a good team without LeBron.
Yeah.
I think if, like I said earlier, if everything goes right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I mean, if everything goes right, the Cavs could be a championship caliber team. They could be a potential championship contender.
If everything
And
goes right, yeah.
and obviously for the Western Conference, I have high hopes for the high expectations for the Memphis Grizzlies. You know what I mean? They came off a 56 win season, had a really good year, and on top of that, they can win games without Ja Morant.
Yeah. Um.
And then on top, obviously, we can't forget about the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets, and especially the Los Angeles Clippers. That team is. I expect, if I'm being okay, if everything goes right,
Right.
I expect the Clippers and the Cavaliers to face off in the NBA Finals. If everything goes right, those two teams will be in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
If everything goes right.
Uh, I'm really excited for the season. I think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna try to.
Well,
I'm gonna try to catch as many games as I can too. I don't have league pass, but I got the bootleg website, so I catch the games and for the free. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I think it's gonna be great. But one of the topics I know I wanted to bring up on the pod was like reportedly DeAndre Ayton hasn't talked to the Monty Williams since the last time he played in the playoffs. So like he obviously doesn't want to be there. He signed a max extension or max deal with Indiana, and then the Suns matched. My thing is like for the Suns, why did they match so quickly? If you knew he didn't want to be there, you know how easy it would have been for them to just pull off a sign and trade for Miles Turner. Miles Turner has been in trade talks of getting out of Indiana for what feels like an eternity now, and yet he's still there.
exactly.
So I just don't know why. Like they brought him back like that. Like we thought that, okay. I think it was like I think he signed like a deal. I want to say, let's just say hypothetically he signed it on a Saturday, right? That Saturday night they was on it. They didn't wait. They didn't wait 24 hours. Like they didn't try to make no calls,
Same day.
make no signing. Like it was like, boom. So
Yeah.
I mean, the dude don't want to be there. I think it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I mean he has a no trade clause for a year, meaning for the next year, if you can't trade him unless he agrees to it, and then he can't even be traded till like January 15th or something like that.
Right.
So, I think that whole situation is interesting. As well as speaking, still on the same topic as the Suns, Jay Crowder supposedly wants out too. So, hey.
Oh yeah. So you got two really crucial, ingredients to, the Suns being a successful team, and they both obviously don't want to be there. So that's really that's a big question mark. I don't know what DeAndre Ayton's gonna do. I don't. He might play. He might not play. I don't
He'll
know what
play.
he's gonna
I don't. He's not gonna sit out, but he's
do.
gonna try to get out of there.
Yeah, but yeah. So we'll see how that situation plays out. Um, you know what I mean? I don't. It's kind of the Suns kind of have to you know what I mean, make a decision here. Like, you know,
Like,
I
how are they
like
gonna move forward with this?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's kind of that's an interesting situation. You know what I mean, to say the least.
yeah. Back in June, I want to say uh, Dallas Mavericks traded a first round pick to the Houston Rockets for Christian Wood, and according to Coach Jason Kidd, they want to bring Christian Wood off the bench, let JaVale McGee start. What do you think about that? I can start it. I can start it off. I mean, I
What's
don't
the
hate
starting
it.
lineup?
You said what?
What's the starting lineup? Luca,
Luca, Spencer
Spencer.
Dinwiddie, probably Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, and JaVale, or maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dorian Finney-Smith, and then
Okay,
JaVale. I think that
okay.
like, I think I think Christian Wood would be a really good six man, but it's like, and just because he's coming off the bench doesn't mean he won't be closing games. Like when the games crunch time, he'll be on the floor. JaVale McGee will probably be on the bench, but do you think that Christian Wood has done enough to no matter what be a starter, or you think that this is reasonable?
I don't think he has done enough in the league yet to just be, oh yeah, he's an automatic starter. Nah, he's been injured. He's inconsistent at
Oh
times.
yeah, I mean
He
look,
doesn't.
hey,
Yeah,
at some time he'll look like the next coming to AD. And
yeah,
then other times it's like, bro, come on, are we serious? Like, what are
yeah,
we?
exactly. So it's like he picks and chooses when he wants to play hard, and when he wants to, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you said a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? We know what we're gonna like. Guys like Giannis. We know what we're gonna get out of Giannis.
Yeah,
He's giving 110% no matter who he plays.
yeah,
I don't care if he's playing the Detroit Pistons or the Houston Rockets.
yeah.
He's giving 110%.
Every single
Christian
time.
Wood is just not that guy, man. He's
Yeah,
not the guy that'll give you 110% game in and game out. He might do it for this game, and in the very next game, he might just be very lazy and just very, unaggressive and things of that nature. So I think Christian Wood is a very inconsistent guy. So I think he needs to kind of, prove himself more, become more consistent, play harder more, be more aggressive. And I think then at that point, because Christian Wood, there's no doubt he has a ton of talent.
oh
There's
yeah.
no doubt about that.
Especially on the offensive end, I feel like if
Right,
Christian Wood had more talent defensively, like he'd be a no-brain starter. But
right.
I mean, yeah, it's no doubt he has the ability to score the ball. His story's incredible. His girl dumped him on draft night when he didn't get drafted or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
I'm sure she's wishing
That's
she
that
didn't do
now.
that. But yeah, I think that Christian Wood's a very good player. I think that
Right.
Luka Doncic can elevate because this is the last year on his deal. So when we look at like what Luka was able to do with Jalen Brunson, I think that Luka can do that with Christian Wood. We could be talking about in a year at this time, Christian Wood could have a $20 million plus contract, and it wouldn't surprise me. It just depends on how he's gonna come out and play.
Right, right. So yeah, it just all depends on, where Wood's mind is at, how he's gonna play,
Yeah,
how hard he's willing to play each and every night, how consistent he's gonna be, and then that will determine if he's a no doubt starter. But right now, he definitely has a lot to prove. And once he proves that he's that guy, he'll be that guy.
yeah.
Simple as that.
Um, One team out west that I'm really high on is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, yeah.
CJ, Bi, Zion. Um, they got Herb Jones, who's top five perimeter
Jones,
defense players in the league. They got
Alvarado, yeah, all
Jonas
those guys.
Valanciunas. They got the eighth overall pick, Dyson Daniels, Trey Murphy. I mean, you want to
Yeah,
talk about a rebuild? Like that's it's a great rebuild, but also retool. Like that Anthony Davis trade was probably one of the best like two sided trades where both teams won. So yeah, I'm really high on the Pelicans. They got a lot of great depth. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I am too. With the Pelicans and Zion Williamson coming back and becoming healthy, losing all that weight. What I'm
yeah,
saying, Zion Williamson looking good right now, man. You know what I'm saying, bulked up and things of that nature. And you obviously, with Brandon Ingram, man. I know you saw that picture, man. Dude didn't have no
yeah,
haircut, nothing. That
yeah.
boy was just woofing it
And
out, man.
he got that dog in him.
On me, Brandon Ingram this season about to go stupid, man. Brody ain't got no haircut, nothing, looking like a straight homeless person. Brandon Ingram will go crazy, and obviously, C.J. McCollum, and then just look at that big three. That big three, all three of them are 20+ point per game scorers.
Yeah.
So that's 60+ points from three players.
And I
Now,
think
if everybody else does their part, boom.
people have already forgotten how good Zion is and how good
Exactly.
he was. And yeah, I think the Pelicans are really a team that's like, if people aren't on tip yet, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations for the Brooklyn Nets? We mentioned this in one of the episodes, but that was where the audio had cut out, so we can kind of revisit it right now. Just a quick rundown of how their offseason looked. They lost in was they got swept first round, right? Um,
Yeah.
Ben
Brown,
Simmons
like,
didn't play. KD requested out or wanted out, requested a trade. I told you from the jump that it wasn't gonna happen. I said the only team that could offer something would be the Suns if they threw in DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and first round picks. But then DeAndre Ayton ended up resigning, so then it became dead. In my opinion, unless the Celtics were to give up Jaylen Brown, there was no way a trade was getting done. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah. They got Ben Simmons coming back, who I believe he's healthy now. He should be. He hasn't played basketball in since the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. So,
Yeah.
bro should
He
be
should.
healthy by now.
But you know what I mean. Okay, so my expectations for the Brooklyn, it honestly depends on where everybody's head is at. To be
Mhm.
honest, if everybody's head is in the right place, if Kyrie Irving's head is in the right place, if Durant's head is in the right place, and if Ben Simmons' head is in the right place, I think the Nets are going to be a really good team.
Yeah, yeah. If
A really
everyone's
good
on
team. They
board,
have
like,
a good squad. They have a good squad. I don't like their head coach at all, but I mean they have a good squad. And I think that squad has the potential to do a lot of damage in this league. You have Ben Simmons, who's 6'10", can play make, can basically do everything but shoot the damn basketball. And on top of that, that dude, I know you saw that in a recent interview. That dude Ben Simmons said, "I'm gonna shoot 23s a game" or something like that. So, I mean, it's Ben Simmons. He's a really good all around player. Once he develops a shot and actually shoots the ball, there's no way you can stop him. Obviously, we know how good Kyrie and Kevin Durant is, and then they have other guys like Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and Joe Harris who's coming back. So the Brooklyn Nets are a really good team. Um, it just if everybody is head is in the right place, if everybody's focused and what I'm saying has one common goal to win a championship, then I think the Brooklyn Nets have a shot at winning a championship.
who is one player just in the league that you think is prime for a bounce back year? Like a guy that maybe wasn't great last year, had an off year maybe, but is primed to get back on track to the player that we know them as.
Ooh,
I mean, I can start it off with a favorite, probably James Harden. I think James Harden is gonna bounce back. See, the thing about James Harden is like, people want him to drop to 25 to 30. He doesn't have to do that. He's playing with the best big in the game right now. Well, him and Jokic, Embiid and Jokic are like this, but he's playing with one of the most dominant players in the league right now. Tyrese Maxey's been very good.
yeah,
They got PJ Tucker, right? So PJ Tucker's going to space the floor, knock down corner threes, defend. James Harden can be a point guard this year. He can be a facilitator. Tyrese Maxey has done a very good job of scoring off the ball. And so, as much as people are going to want that James Harden, 40 points per game, 30 step back, like, it's not going to happen. I mean, it'll happen from time to time, but it's not going to be consistent like they want it to be.
yeah. I think exactly. You know what I mean? I think if James Harden, averages anywhere between 24 to 27, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't
I don't
need
even
him
think he
to.
has to do that though. Like 21 is cool.
I know, but yeah, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
Obviously, you know what I mean. I like the James. Yeah, but 21 is good. But you know what I mean. I think 24 to 27 is doable. I think
I
that's
think as
doable.
long as it's efficient. If I'd rather take it.
Right.
I'll take an efficient 21 over an inefficient 27.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd take an efficient. Yeah, as long as he's shooting the ball efficiently above 45%. I, you know what I mean. 21 points. That's fine by me. You know what I mean. Obviously, he has guys like you know what I mean, Tobias Harris and like you said, Tyrese Maxey, PJ Tucker, and Joel Embiid and Matisse Thybulle. He has a bunch of weapons on his team that he could use. He doesn't even need to really score the ball as much as opposed to when he was in Houston. Obviously, you know what I mean. He had the ball in his hands more. He didn't have guys like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. So you know what I mean. Most of the scoring came from him and things like that, and most of the offense ran through him. So, but obviously his role is different now. But you know what I mean. I think James Harden have a really big bounce back year. Also think that Damian Lillard might have a good bounce back year
Yeah,
too. Obviously, last
I
year he was
forgot
dealing
about
with
Dame.
injuries. His shot was a bit off, but I think he's been in the gym lately doing his thing. I think he's fully healthy now. He should be.
Yeah.
I think he's going to ball out. Another person I think who's going to have a really good year is Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
I boy got a whole new software update, man.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
He got the iOS 16 on it. He
and
ready.
iOS 16 on him. You know what I mean? He's like, you know what I mean? He's really bulked up. He's been in the gym lately. That dude's fucking thighs are just what, like, man.
I know.
It's just, he's really been in the gym working. He looks healthy, looks good, much stronger now. I'm really expecting, what's the name? Kawhi Leonard to have a really big year as well. So those are a couple guys that I think can have a good bounce back year.
Um, who are some guys you think are primed to break out? I can get it started by, I know you're a Spurs fan. I think everybody on that Spurs team is primed to break out. Devin Vassell is primed to break out. Keldon Johnson, of course.
Yeah.
Trey Jones is a guy that I've been hip to for a while. Ever since he was at a Duke, hard nosed guy, just like his brother Tyus Jones, who, he's not going to turn the ball over. Great playmaker, not necessarily a great shooter, but like I mentioned earlier, he makes up for it with his defense. I really like Trey Jones' game, and then Josh Primo is another guy on the Spurs that's like when he was drafted, he was 18. He looks 12. I look older than Primo. Um, but yeah, I think he could be prime for the breakout year, and if Trey Jones doesn't have the breakout year that I think he will have, I think that prime Josh Primo can slide into that starting point guard slot.
Yeah, one of a really big guy, is Keldon Johnson. That's a guy who I'm really high on this year. I think Keldon Johnson is, you know what I mean. It's set in stone perfectly for him to have
Yeah,
a
I
big.
gotta pick him up in fantasy. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to.
I think he's gonna average at least
22.
17 at least.
I think he could get us 22.
That's why I said 17 at least. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? At the most, he'll probably get us 24 at the most.
yeah.
I'm really high on Keldon Johnson. That's a really good guy that I think that should have a breakout year. Keldon Johnson. I've been talking about him in school a lot, especially with a couple of teachers and the students at my school. So Keldon Johnson's a guy I'm really high about. I'm really excited for Keldon Johnson, man. Yes, sir.
Another guy I'm high on is Alperen Sengun, center for the Houston Rockets. He was the
Oh yeah,
15th pick.
I've seen. Yeah,
He was the 15th
I
pick in the draft last year, and
yeah.
I think he was one of the reasons why the Rockets were fine with trading Christian Wood. We're talking about a guy who, at the center position, he's probably the best playmaker on that Houston Rockets team. We know, KPJ is gonna get his shots. Jalen Green's gonna take his shots. They got Jabari Smith. So I mean, yeah, Alperen Sengun's he's gonna slide into that starting center spot. And yeah, I think he's gonna be really solid.
I think Shangoon might have a good year. Another player who I think might have a breakout year might be I think Marvin Bagley.
Mm,
Um,
interesting.
Marvin Bagley might you know what I mean, surprise the league. He's had a couple disappointing years over in Sacramento. He's in a new environment now. Pretty sure he plays with
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah,
Yeah.
Detroit.
And
He has he has a really good point guard in Cade Cunningham, who's a good playmaker. So I think Marvin Bagley can get like 15 to 20 points a game. I think Marvin Bagley could have a really good year. He just needs to stay healthy. You know what I mean? Stay consistent,
yeah,
get bored, play defense, and I think Marvin Bagley might even be a candidate for most improved player.
I just think with Bagley, like that team has a bunch of. Like, I don't even think Bagley's gonna start because you got Isaiah Stewart. You drafted Jalen Duren, what you call it? Like in the lottery, which I'm not sure if he's gonna start. I think Bagley will for sure be better than Sacramento, because that's what happens when people leave Sacramento. But um, 20 points per game, I don't quite see that. I would love for it to happen because I love Marvin Bagley. But as far as realism goes, I don't think it would happen.
Yeah, that's why I said 15 to
Yeah.
20. So like at the most 20, but I think he might. Yeah, like 15. I think 15 points per game is doable for Marvin Bagley. I think it's about time that we see, you know what I mean, the type of player that we all projected Marvin Bagley to be. I think wasn't he the number one pick in the draft a couple years ago?
Number two,
Second, number two. So
DeAndre
Marvin
Ayton was
Bagley,
one.
yeah, he was a really big prospect. So I'm really, what I'm saying, just waiting for him to just showcase his talent.
Uh,
Simple as that.
is there a player in the league that you were not as high on as others, and you could take some time to think about it? Because I don't have an answer yet. So yeah, but a player that maybe people think is up here, you don't think he's there yet. Maybe he can get there, but he's not there yet.
Hmm. A player that people think is up there but isn't there yet.
Yeah, that you believe he isn't there yet.
So an overrated player, basically.
Um, I wouldn't even say overrated, but like a player like you could use that term, but like there's sometimes we see these players, they're like, oh, so and so. It's like me after 3 games calling Jalen Hurts the top 3 quarterback in the league. When it's like, hey, Jay Hurts is not there yet, but I think he can be there. But right now, I'm not that high on him right now. This is an example.
Oh, I think a player that needs to be mentioned in this is John Morant.
Mm-hmm.
John Morant obviously is a good player, a really good player actually.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We don't get to see you know what I mean athletic guys at that position like that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? People are saying John Morant is the best point guard, second best, third best, whatever point guard in the league, and just putting him so high, putting him on a pedestal. I don't think he's there yet, but I definitely think John Morant will get there.
Yeah.
He was an MVP candidate last year. He did average 27 points per game last year. He did have a really good year, but I don't think he's, you know what I mean, amongst the top 3, top 5 point guards in the league yet. I think he'll get there, but I don't think he's there yet. I'm not that. I really like John Morant. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not so high on him yet. You know what I mean? Give it maybe a year, another year or two. We'll see how well he plays this next year. We'll see how well he plays the season after this season, and then maybe I'll say John Morant's a top 3, top 5 point guard in the league. But I'm just not ready to say that yet.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I feel like a lot of that comes with recency bias. You see a player, go off, do his thing in the playoffs, and it changed your whole narrative because you forget about the guys like Dame who basically was out the whole season. You forget about, other guys that maybe haven't got that far yet. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's definitely a good one.
Right.
Another person, Devin Booker.
I
just don't think he got that dog in him.
I don't like Devin Booker.
That's not to disrespect. He's up there. We're talking about a guy that dropped 70 in a game. Like, that's, come on now. But he's not the best shooting guard in the league. He's good, but it's
Paul
just
George is better.
Paul George. Give me Paul George. Jimmy Butler's what a small forward.
Jimmy Butler's a small forward.
See, but that's another thing. Like the shooting guard.
Is Jaylen Brown a shooting guard?
Yeah.
I think Jaylen Brown's better than him.
Yeah, I'll take Jaylen Brown over Devin Booker. I think just the shooting guard position is weird because we transitioned to the game of small ball. So guys that like Jimmy Butler started in the league as a shooting guard. Now you'll see him playing power forward next to Bam Adebayo. Like that's how weird the game is.
Yeah.
Um, people like people that have come into the league like in let's say the you know 2010s, like a lot of those guys that are like wings end up playing two positions lower than they came in. So like a guy like PJ Tucker, he came into the league as like a small forward. The Rockets had him playing center.
Yeah.
Like so, that's how the game works. And I said the 2010s, but I meant like the early 2010s, late 2000s. Like 2007, 8, 9. But yeah, I mean, like I said, players that came into the league during those times, like if they were wings and they're kind of built, they'll end up playing like two positions lower, meaning like shooting guard to power forward. Like it really works like that sometimes. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what I mean? Because the game is definitely transitioning to a more small ball approach. Obviously, yeah, like you said, that Houston Rockets team a
Mhm.
couple years ago. I think that team won 65 games doing that too.
and that's why
Um,
Draymond Green is a he's a really good analyst. Whether you like him or not as a player, I really like Draymond Green as an analyst. And I remember during the bubble, that's when they had went all out and did the small ball. And he basically said like every center not named Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and like Rudy Gobert or whatever. He said, with the exception of those guys, every other center should be praying that the Lakers win this series. Because could you imagine if the Rockets won the championship going small ball? That would just drastically switch the whole. Just how the Warriors won the championship only shooting threes, and I do the quotations because we know they weren't only shooting threes, but everybody was like, "Oh, you can't win the championship only shooting threes," and they go out and win the
yeah,
championship. So,
yeah.
but
And then
yeah,
you
I
saw,
think if
the whole league now. You see all
yeah,
these teams shooting a bunch of threes now. So
if the
yeah,
Rockets would have won that championship, it would have been league altering for sure.
100%. You know what I mean? We would have seen a lot more teams dipping into that
Yep.
small ball approach. Definitely small balling and you know what I mean, using a guy like I don't know, 6'7", 6'8" guy,
Yeah,
putting him at so yeah, it definitely would have changed the whole league.
and it's like that's
That's a
why,
really good point that Draymond. I never knew Draymond Green said that. That's a really good point actually that he said.
and
Yeah, Draymond.
Draymond Green said a
Yeah,
lot of good things.
yeah,
That's why,
he
like
does.
a lot of centers that dominate in college, people are like, "Oh, why? How come he hasn't been able to translate, or how come we got this guy in college that's a center averaging 20 and 10. He's a senior and he's not even on the draft boards. Why is that? It's because like, oh, he can't move. Oh, he's a post scorer. The league. If you can't at the center position, they really want a guy that can run the floor, space the floor, and block shots,
Yeah,
and of course rebound. But they want all five positions to be able to rebound. That's like a given in basketball now. That's why tall guards are preferred. Um, but that's why I got like Andre Drummond, bro. Andre Drummond in the early 2000s, he's a top five center in the league. I mean, we're talking about a guy that just rebounds like his life depends on it. But
16, 17 rebounds a game.
defensively, he's not great. He can't spread the floor. So I think we'll start to see more and more centers like Jonas Valanciunas wasn't always able to shoot the three ball. Mark Gasol, when he was in his prime in Memphis, he wasn't shooting no three ball. He developed that once he really left and got to Toronto. So you'll see more and more centers try to develop the three ball. Um, I think, I think, I think every player on the court should be able to shoot the three ball, because I'm not saying you got to pull contested threes, but if you're wide open in the corner, like I feel like every NBA player should be able to knock that shot down.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's something because if you think about it, almost every NBA player practice shooting threes in
Yeah,
practice. Because like that. They practice that shot. It's not like they don't practice that shot at all. They practice that shot.
yeah.
It's just all about their confidence level when they get into the game to shoot that shot. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it also deals with, you know what I mean, the role that they have on the team. Maybe the coach doesn't want them to shoot threes or things of that nature. Maybe they're not going to be at the 3 point line that frequent. Maybe they're not going to be, you know what I mean, just left wide open at the 3 point line because they're not going to be even be over there. So
Yeah.
that also plays a factor into that as
And
well. But I really I want to because I'm a guy that likes seeing teams space out the floor. You know what I mean?
uh,
I like to have you know what I'm saying like me. You know when I'm playing 2K, I like to have a team full of shooters, man. Like if I'm isoing and my dude helps and I kick it out to you in the corner, I expect you to make the shot. And I think the NBA should be like that as well. But you know, obviously things aren't going to work out like that. You know, people are still going to go to the pick and roll and things of that nature. And you know, there's still teams that might even want an inside big.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like last week we were talking about something similar to this probably, and you continue to reiterate how there's players in the league that's there to score. There's players in the league there to block shots, rebound, shoot, do all those things. But it's at a certain point, like you have to be able to do more. Like I think that, like we talked about scoring, like if you're only in the league to score the ball, boy, you better be elite. Like JJ Redick was only in the league to shoot the ball, but he was
and he,
elite. Kyle
yeah,
Korver was only in the league to shoot the ball, but he was
like,
elite. If you're
yeah,
only in the
sure.
league to do one thing,
You
you
better
better
be
be
elite.
elite.
Yeah,
Like
you better be elite or damn near elite.
that's why, like
Damn near.
we I probably mentioned this in the last episode, or I mentioned it before. Year in and year out, we got these players in the G League that are dropping 30, 40 points in the G League. I'm here to tell you right now, every NBA team has a player on their team, not in their rotation, that will give you 30 to 40 points in the G League. I'm serious. Kent
Yeah,
Bazemore, who played for the Lakers last year, who got no PT, would average 30 points in the G League, and people would be saying, why is Kent Bazemore not in the league?
that is so true.
So,
Because
mhm,
NBA talent is just next level. Because like you got to remember, there's levels to this, bro.
yeah,
NBA talent. I think I saw a clip of like a couple clips of like Mo Wagner playing in the G League. That dude looked like he was LeBron James
I'm
out
telling
there,
you,
bro.
bro.
I'm telling you, these NBA players when they get to the G League or they play overseas or something like that, they will drop 40 or 50 on your head if they wanted to.
So when we see
NBA players are next level.
these like college fan favorites that are in the G League, averaging 30 to 40, oh, why is he not in the league? Oh, he should be in the league. I'm telling you, it's a different ball game.
Telling you,
Nick Stauskas, he played 2 games in the G League. He averaged like 50 points. The Celtics signed him. I had not seen him play once until the Celtics was blowing out the Nets and he got in garbage time. Like that, it's a difference. I'm trying. And I try to tell people that
man.
it's not the
It's
same.
yeah, yeah. Professional sports is a completely different ball game, and
Yes.
it's completely different. When you got guys like you're going up against guys like LeBron and Durant, and even good role players like I don't know what are some good I can't even think right now,
Like some
but
good role
the
players,
good
like you throw Lou Will in the G League, he'll give you 30. Isaiah Thomas went to the G League, 40, 40, 30. Like, come on, he gets to the league. I've always been an Isaiah Thomas fan. He was good in the league, but it's just like, well, Isaiah Thomas, we know defensively, he's not the greatest. He can still shoot the ball. I think if you put Isaiah Thomas on the right team in the right position, you'll get great production out of him. But that's another thing with a lot of these guys is it has to be the right team, the right moment. You throw any great player on any great team, he elevates them a
yeah.
lot. So I think there's a big difference that people, I think some people don't really understand the skill gap of the G League and the NBA.
Yeah, the skill gap is very noticeable. You'll see that. The best G League player in the league might not even get that much playtime in the NBA, depending on what team he's on.
And
That's all it
because
is.
like even then, like you look at the Warriors, like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody were playing G League, and that's just went to show not only how deep their team was, but how much veteran experience they had that they didn't really need to use the young guys. Um, it just depends. When we're talking about like guys that are on 2-way contracts versus guys that are like really in the G League. One thing I will say about the G League is that playing in the G League, you're getting everybody's best. even if they're not on their offensive game, like they're gonna give you 110, 120% because they're almost at their goal of getting to the NBA. Which is why, like when college players, like I think that the college route is better than the G League route because you can go take over a program, play on national TV, be a lottery pick. Versus G League, nobody's watching G League. The eyes aren't on you. You're playing against grown men who are out to hunt you. I mean, I could, jealousy is a big thing in the world. So you in the G League making your 75K or whatever, you see this G Leaguer or this high schooler get a $500,000 6-figure contract, you want to go at him. You want to, hey, that should be me making that half a mil. So
On me.
I think that it's just all about like I said, like you said, it's levels to it. And
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, guys like Sharif Cooper was averaging 30, 40 in the G League. Summer League, he averaged like 1.7. Um, I'm, hey, I hope he succeeds. I wanted the Lakers to sign him when he got cut because I feel like,
I don't even think he averaged 1 point in the NBA. I think did he average like 0.7 or
but
something like that?
we expect that though. I don't trip on players like because Sharif Cooper, he's a guy that he's developmental. He's a guy that you hope you could develop. Like I thought that the Suns, a team like the Suns, should have picked him up. He could learn behind CP for a year, take over after CP's gone, and we're talking about a guy that was a former 5-star recruit. Um, and so yeah, I just think the college you pick or the route you take is very very big in where you go. That's why Trey Young. Look at Trey Young. I mean, Trey Young was able to go somewhere where he had his own program, basically at Oklahoma, and he was able to be the fifth pick in the draft. So
Yeah.
it,
And then
it
obviously you see how good Trey Young
yeah, we
is.
see how
And
that's panned out. So
yeah,
a lot goes into that. But yeah, there's definitely levels to this, and people need to understand that.
100%, 100%.
Um,
And I don't think enough people realize that.
yeah,
So
yeah. A team in the NBA that I'm really low on is the Charlotte Hornets. Uh, they lost Miles Bridges, of course. They lost a lot,
they
and
lost no Miles Bridges, no Montrezl Harrell. They have no bigs. Mason Plumlee, that's who they're stuck
they
with.
drafted Mark Williams in the lottery. But aside from him, it's they don't have.
That's that dude from Duke, right?
Yeah,
But I mean, we'll see. You know what I mean? With Lamelo, but I think Lamelo Ball might have a breakout year.
yeah.
He
I
might
think
have.
the
Yeah, he might. Be,
the Hornets been in with the play in the past 2 years. In order for them to at least get out of that play and get to the first round, Lamelo's gonna have to be top 5 point guard in the league.
yeah, he's gonna have to be stellar. I'm not. Yeah. So I think Lamelo Ball might have a really good year.
Mm,
Um, I think this is Lamelo's time to really, you know what I mean, put the ball on the floor and make plays.
yep.
You know what I mean? Doesn't really have Montrezl Harrell anymore. That lob threat. He's
Montrezl
definitely gonna need
Harrell,
to score the ball more.
he got. I think Montrezl Harrell didn't he? Oh no, yeah, because he had got arrested or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they Mark Williams is the lob threat though. We're talking about a guy that's like 7'2" with a 7. Dude, his standing reach is like affinity and beyond. Um, I really like Mark Williams coming out of Duke. He'll get you. At Duke he got you like 3 blocks a game. He's a great shot blocker. Can run the floor. Plays hard. If Mark Williams could stretch the floor, like he would really help them out because we know Lamelo. We know what Lamelo can do with space. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
one hundred percent.
I think like Lamelo's never really had a true lob threat. Unless you want to count Miles, but like Montrezl Harrell's not really catching lobs. He's a guy that wants to go down low to the post and handle his business down there. Plumlee, I think Mason Plumlee is who they had. He's not a lob threat. So
Yeah,
I think Mark Williams was in that aspect of the game with lob threats. I think Mark Williams will really be stellar there.
yeah, 100%. And like you said, with the spacing of the floor, you know what I mean. We know how good Lamelo Ball is when he can have teammates to kick out to. You know what I mean? Because Lamelo Ball is also a good ISO player. You know what I mean? And but I think definitely this year, I think Lamelo Ball's definitely gonna have to probably score the ball a bit more than last
Yeah,
season. I think last year he averaged what 20.
probably
I
something like
think
that. Yeah.
2019. I don't know. I think he might average like
He's going to
between
have to get it
22
to
and 25
25,
this year.
26.
Yeah, I really, I really want him, I really want him to average above 25. I'd be really excited if he does, man. But you know what I mean. I'm really excited for Lamelo Ball. That's a guy who I'm really big on this year. I've always known that Lamelo Ball was going to be good in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is
Um,
of no surprise.
on the topic of Ball brothers, there's two other we could talk about. Leangelo signed the training camp deal with the Hornets, so we'll see how that pans out. He signed the same deal last year. Ended up playing G League, didn't get much PT there. But the biggest topic right now is Lonzo Ball reportedly can't run or can't jump, and reportedly, I guess a few days ago they said he was going to be out for the year. Or there was speculation. There was speculation. It hadn't been confirmed, but they feared that he would be out for the year. Now I guess they got better news today that hopefully that's not the case. But I think Lonzo Ball, it sucks. He's everything you wanted a point guard. He's got the height, the length, can shoot the ball very well. That's the aspect of the game that he's really improved at. He can defend he's one of the best defenders in the league. And I think people forget how great of a playmaker he is. Like he's a top 10 playmaker in the league undoubtedly. So
100.
I think for the Bulls that's a big loss. Injuries really hurt the Bulls. Caruso I got
Last year,
hurt.
yeah,
So
'cause obviously, yeah, we saw that the Bulls were, I think the number one seed for a cool minute, and
yeah,
then Lonzo went down, and then they just,
they went
regressed
down.
from it. Um, yeah, we need the Bulls to, what I mean, get healthy, and you know what I mean. Hopefully, Lonzo Ball. Hopefully, he doesn't miss the whole year.
Yeah,
Um, damn. Apparently, that knee injury that he got is just
yeah, it's bad.
really bad. Like I thought he was going to be fully healthy by now, but I guess he's damn.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my boy Lonzo the best, man. Because I know you saw a couple weeks ago, my boy Lonzo he had went to Verb, man.
Oh
So that
yeah,
was
yeah.
yeah, he had went to Verb. So you know what I mean. That he a real one for that, man. So I want to see my boy Lonzo go out there and ball out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even if obviously Lonzo might not be there, this is a really big opportunity for guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan to just go crazy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think I wouldn't be surprised if DeMar DeRozan averaged 30 this season and Zach LaVine averaged 27. You know what I mean? That might be the best duo in the league this year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Um, what you think about Jimmy Butler's hairstyle?
Look, man. Look, Jimmy. Look, man. Not only is the hairstyle just absolutely just atrocious, but then you shaved your beard.
Oh yeah, the beard was crazy. The beard was crazy.
Like I don't know if this is a midlife crisis or what. I don't know what is going on with dude, but hey, and then he's talking about he gonna keep that for the whole season. Like Jimmy, man, like Jimmy, bro, come on, man. Well, like what's going on? What's going on through your noggin, man?
Man, the
What's
beard,
going on?
bro. We
Man,
seen we
bro.
seen we seen the locks like a few weeks ago, but the shaving of the beard, bro.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
man,
this.
like,
I don't know what's good with dude, man. He need to get it together, man. I don't know what's up with him, man.
look at that. Like he looked like oh my god, like he looked like somebody's father. Like he looked like the dudes that be playing the African drums. Like seriously, that's like
Oh
when I
God, oh, he
like
does look like one of those
that's what I'm
dudes, bro.
saying.
Like what the heck, bro? I don't know what's good with him, bro. Take that hairstyle out.
One thing I love how Jimmy doesn't care though. Like I love how he doesn't care.
I know, yeah. I like how he doesn't care, man. But it's still funny, man. It's still really funny.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look on him.
Yeah.
I think he would look better if he didn't shave the beard, though, bro. If he didn't shave the beard, he would actually look a lot better. But bro, he shaved the beard too, man. Damn. I don't know what's up.
One team we didn't talk about that I meant to get to was the Milwaukee Bucks. We're talking about the team that won the championship 2 years ago. Last year they were hindered by injuries. Chris Middleton got hurt. What do you think about the Bucks? We mentioned earlier, just like I feel like we always talk about how Giannis always gives it his all. But what do you like about the Bucks? Maybe what do you not like, and What do you think they'll do this year?
I like the Bucks a lot. Obviously, I really like Giannis. Giannis is a really good player, top three player in the NBA without a doubt. No, top two player in the NBA without a doubt.
Yep.
Um, Chris Middleton, obviously really good star player on that team. They have other guys like Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis, who I really like. Um, really good team. Obviously, they definitely would have beat the Celtics if they had Chris Middleton. They probably would have made it back to the finals if they had Chris Middleton.
Yep.
But obviously, Chris Middleton went down, and we know how that story went. And then on top of that, without Chris Middleton, Giannis was still able to, bring this like push the series to 7 games as well without Chris Middleton,
Yeah.
which is really impressive. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks, if they stay healthy, I think they'll be back in. I think they'll be back in the race for. I think it'll be the Cavaliers and the Bucks. If everything goes right, I think it'll be the Cavaliers and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? I think it'll be Cavaliers Bucks Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, and I'll probably say the Cavs win by like, I don't know, a game winner or something. Just a gutted out game. That's my prediction.
You think Carmelo Anthony plays basketball this year?
Think you said, do I think he's gonna play basketball this year?
Yeah. He hasn't. He's currently still a free agent. Hasn't signed with a team. Hasn't gone through. Obviously, hasn't gone through media day with a team because he's not signed. So, do you think he'll end up signing somewhere? If where? I mean, yeah. Do you have any predictions?
Well, to be honest, man, I have not been keeping up with Carmelo Anthony. To be honest, I don't really know what that situation is. I don't really know. Maybe you might know what team would be good for him, but I don't know. He might pick up.
I think that after after Danilo Gallinari went down, I definitely thought the Celtics would call him up, and maybe they would work some out. And I guess there was rumors about it, but it never, I guess, fell through. And I mean, I think the Lakers still need shooting.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, yeah, the Lakers. I think the Lakers still need Carmelo. So I think you know what I mean. LeBron might bring Carmelo back. You know what I mean. Carmelo might be their, their spot up guy off the bench. So
Yeah.
I think the Lakers should be good back.
At the end of the day, Carmelo Anthony is still a professional bucket getter. He can still get you. He'll still get you 14 off the bench. So
I think Carmelo Anthony's still a good player. Obviously, you know what I mean. But I think the Lakers should, obviously re-sign him again, and I think Carmelo Anthony could do some damage this season. You know what I mean? Especially because he's a legal shooter, very efficient from the three. I think he shot like 44% from three last season, something crazy like that. I don't remember, but he was shooting the ball really well. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean? Hey man, yeah, we covered a lot, man. Those are some good questions that you asked there, man. Those are some really good questions, man. You know what I mean? This game about to start, you know what I mean? About to tune
we
in.
already kicked off.
Yeah. That's good.
So yeah, I'm for sure gonna be locked in.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you got in your mind?
Um the Broncos, man, we need to turn it around.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do better, get it together, score, put more points on the board. It's not looking good right now. You know what I mean? In my eyes, we're 0-3, but obviously, you know what I mean. You take whatever victory you can get, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Wins
I'll
are hard
take
to
it.
come by in this league, man.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. But you know what I mean. We need to do better. I'm excited for my boy Keldon Johnson, man. I want him to go crazy this year.
Yep.
And that's really it, man.
Yeah.
That's really
Eagles, man, looking good. I think we just got to keep it up. We got a game against Jacksonville. Doug Peterson's return to Philly. If any Eagles fan boos him, they should be ashamed of themselves. We're talking about a guy that won us our first Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
Definitely excited for him to come back. Going up against a good young quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, one that I think will be great in this league for a long time. So it'll definitely be nice. This is like the first quarterback we faced that's really like Week one we played Detroit. Jared Goff is not really like this is the first franchise quarterback we played, so we'll
Yeah,
see how we perform. We'll see how the defense performs. We'll see how our defensive coordinator performs because I told you, hey, he's off and on. So yeah, and then I don't think we, I don't think we really talked about the Lakers at all. So any brief thing, I think the Lakers. I think there's still work to be done on that roster. They have way too many guards. So
I think they
I
have like
think
6.
they should try to enter the Jay Crowder sweepstakes. I think a guy like Jay Crowder would be like the perfect player for this team. A guy that has
Oh,
grit, desire. He'll fit in perfectly. So
yeah,
yeah,
he a really good 3-and-D wing for him.
yeah,
Plays defense, really good shooter. You know what I mean? He plays hard, spaces the floor. So I think that'll be a really good addition for the Lakers, man.
yeah,
Obviously, yeah, they need that. They have way too many guards.
yeah.
So we'll see what they do with that guard situation.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Um, anything else? Anything else?
man, I think we good right now, man. I think we good right now. You know what I mean? I said what I said. I think I said everything I needed to say, man. Yes, sir.
I feel like
What about you?
every time we in this pod, the moment we hop off, something pops in my head. But
Exactly. Man, I
uh,
should have said that. Right now, I don't know. My mind is just
let me
blank right
remind
now.
y'all that we record these on Thursdays now, so
Yep.
anything that happens on Fridays or Saturday, we not gonna get to it till next week unless we got the time. We'll film if it's really big, like if Patrick Mahomes got traded, we hopping on. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, if something happens like an injury or something, we'll just end up covering it next week, and
Yeah.
we'll get y'all the
Yeah.
details. I definitely want to maybe even start a segment where maybe it is just me coming on here for 5-6 minutes doing a rundown or Zach doing a rundown. Anything like that, we could definitely implement that if that's something y'all interested in. You could definitely let me know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
again, if you want to be on the podcast, definitely let us know. Um,
DM
we
the
had
DM
the
the
last people we had on here was Chris and Nick. We definitely want to
yeah.
have those guys back on here, but if anybody else watching this wants to be on here, just let us know. We're
Oh,
always we always feel free. I mean, we right now we got a hour episode. I'm pretty sure, and it's just the two of us. So if you just want to talk, man, we talk anything. We talk music, sports, basketball, politics.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
We're willing to talk anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah. Just
mean,
come here and just speak your mind, man.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Just let the words flow. So yeah.
but
So don't be shy. Just feel free. We don't bite, man.
yeah,
So just
but
yeah.
what's this episode 5?
Yeah. I think episode 5, man. Yep. Episode 5 in the books.
In the books. So
Sir.
yeah, episode 5 in the books. We'll catch y'all. Well, this will come out Saturday, so I guess we'll catch y'all again next Saturday.
Yeah.
Um, with episode 6, and yeah, man, y'all take it easy. Thank y'all
Yes,
for
sir.
listening, watching, whatever y'all doing. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
hey,
Man, all right.
we'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Sir.